Okay, everybody, Stephen Key here, and I have a very special guest, Otto, all the way from, where do you live?
Northern Illinois, Rockford, Illinois.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on inventRightTV. I've known you for a long time, haven't I?
Yes, 2012.
Okay, that's a few years,
It,
almost 10.
yep,
But Otto, you're an inventor, right?
I am.
Okay. Would you consider yourself a successful inventor?
Working my way to there, yes.
Good. All right. And that's what I want to talk about because I know a lot of people are watching this wondering, what does it take to be successful? And what are some of the roadblocks and what should I watch out for? And that's why they're watching this channel.
hmm
Because when you first started out and you've been an InventRight student, all right? And I still think you follow us and are
Sure.
involved. Okay.
Yep.
So, when you first started out, I remember you hadn't licensed an idea yet, right? And quite a few years went by, didn't it?
It did. Um, 4 years
4 years.
before I got my first signed contract.
Okay, so wait a minute. I want everybody to hear this. 4 years, no signed contract. Why didn't you just say, this is ridiculous. I'm done with this. It doesn't work. These 10 steps don't work at all. Why don't you just say, hey, I'm done?
My second year, I did have a contract, or we were starting on a contract, but that fell through. So,
Okay.
I knew
Oh,
there was something there,
okay.
but it fell through. So I just kept going at it. I just felt very comfortable knowing that I will get there eventually.
Well, people that are listening to this thinking, well, that's a long time.
It is.
And they're thinking, why would you stay with something that took so long?
That is a good question, but I just believed in the system and I knew I would get there eventually.
Okay.
Um,
Because
you
something
know,
changed.
and I ended up staying in the same industry and getting to build relationships, keep sending, pitching ideas, and eventually, I did get interest, and from there, I had a signed contract. So,
All right. So you stay in it for 4 years, you get close, you change a little bit, you focus on one industry, you get that first signed deal. How'd that feel? Okay, let's.
well, it felt really good because the deal before that, I did have a signed contract the third year, and then it got dropped. So then when I got the real one and it went through, it felt great.
Well, let's talk about the deals that just dropped off. Why did they drop off? And was it something you did?
I don't think the company, I feel like I kind of pushed him a little bit towards a contract. He didn't feel real comfortable, so he finally did it.
Okay.
And then he started working on it and just didn't feel 100% into it. It
Okay.
was a small company, and he just felt that he had to let it go.
All right. Well, first of all, how many deals have you got signed?
I've had 7. I just had one dropped recently, about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And that was okay because it was a company I've worked with before, and they told me, this didn't make it for our selection for 2022, but if you have some more ideas, send them out, and maybe we can work something in. So I have sent out a few more ideas to them too.
So it sounds like you're telling me this is pretty common, that now you get deals and now some of them drop out. Is that just what it is?
You never know, right? Uh, 7 contracts. I had 2 drop deals out of 7. So
Okay. What do you do when one drops? Do you go out and have a couple beers or do you slit your throat, jump off the cliff? What do you do?
keep moving on. Just keep moving on. No, it's not a big deal. I'm always working with several companies and
Okay.
several ideas, so you can't just count on that one.
Well, you know what's interesting? I think you figured out there's a pace to it. There's a rhythm to it.
hmm
And I think the guys that stay in this long enough realize you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. Some are going to be sell well, some probably aren't going to sell at all very well. Some are going to. There's not a. If you're looking for something to be perfect, this is not perfect, is it?
Right. No.
It's not.
And like I say, every time it's different. Every company, every contract. So it's just kind of go with the flow, and once you get those relationships built and the companies, then what's going to happen when you're pitching and the contracts, and pretty comfortable feeling then.
Well, aren't they, when you start to build that relationship, it isn't more about they know you're coming back with another one,
Sure.
they're gonna take you seriously too, and they're gonna do the best job they can, but things do happen. Is that the reality to it?
Yep, I think so.
So what would you tell someone that's watching this for the first time? I mean, he's got this great idea. He thinks he's got $1 million idea. He's ready to go. What would you tell him?
I would tell him if he thinks it's a great idea, then push forward. I signed a contract last fall that was my second idea. Went through 3 companies, got dropped once, and hopefully it goes through because I believed in the idea. So that's from 2013 to 2027 years took to get this. It's not out yet, but I mean, they're working on it. So signed contract.
Is it, so it's a numbers game?
It is.
Yeah. Otto, thank you very much. I mean, this is kind of, I wanted to talk to you about it because I think you have a very interesting story. I wondered if I would have quit if I had that when I was first starting out and had that dry spell.
If it was a full-time job, it might have been different. Because I can work on it every morning and every night. That's what keeps you really going. So.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people that are listening, I tell everyone, if you think this is the lottery, you should probably do something else.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really creative and you want to see those ideas and you're passionate about it, I think you'll do fine. But you have to realize, at the end of the day, it's really what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And you could you could come up with a lot of ideas, keep on pitching and build a relationship. So you're just feeding that monster.
Right.
And once you get the relationship built, then it's just keep on having fun with it.
It is.
Why do people put so much of a heavy burden on themselves?
They want to succeed. Why do they?
I don't know. I think do you feel any, well, let me ask you a different question. Do you feel any different that you licensed an idea when you before you didn't, and now that you have? Do you feel any different?
Sure. I feel confident and pitching more ideas.
Yeah, you are more confident too.
Yeah, it does help. I mean,
Yeah.
when I got into the industry, I knew nothing about it at all. So, it took a lot for me really to get going on it. And that's okay. I knew it was going to be I didn't think it would happen overnight. I knew it would take time, and I was in for that. So.
Okay. Well, you're also in the industry. You're in the, what do you call it? It's game. What do you call it? Tabletop games, or what would you call it?
I call it active games.
Active games.
Yeah.
That's a fairly competitive industry. I mean, you're not in. Let's put it this way. I got out of the toy industry because I knew how tough it was. Okay. And I think you have to truly love it if you want to play in that industry. And I think you probably pretty much do.
I do.
Well, Otto, thank you very much for coming on. And
Thank you. Thank you for all your dedication through the years of teaching us inventors the right way to invent.
well, thank you for saying that. And we'll have you back on when you get the next one in, okay?
Yeah, that one that took me 7 years, that'd be great.
All right. Thank you, Otto.
Take care. Thank you.